I was presented with an opportunity.
Who's ready?
Three events ended up coming together and forming something very similar to this. Pretty damn sexy, isn't it? That is, of course, a camera, a lens, and an event. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. This also marks the first time I've used a Fujifilm for professional work, and that video will come later on. But for now, let's talk about the 17 to 40mm f1.8 from Sigma. Of course, this comes as the sort of second generation to the 18 to 35 f1.8 from the past, which was a very popular lens for both APS-C shooters as well as GH5 shooters, Micro Four Thirds. The first thing I was really expecting here was a lens that was going to be super heavy. Now I'm pleased to report that I was wrong. The lens is only 535 grams, which compared to its predecessor at 810 grams, there is a significant difference here. It feels nice and robust in the hands. This also has dust and moisture resistance there as well, meaning you can take it out in the rain for jobs like this. The glass in here is super sharp with 17 elements in 11 groups, trying to minimize that distortion, ghosting, and creating an overall very pleasing image to the eye, whilst also remaining super damn sharp. If you're of course interested in this lens and a whole heap of other lenses that are coming out and have come out over the last year, then make sure you come to Wales and West Photography Show this year between the 19th and 21st of June. It's really going to be a great chance to check out some of the latest and greatest in tech. This lens actually ended up being pretty perfect for this particular project, but also general filmmaking with smaller sensored cameras, giving you an option for a general prime zoom lens that gives you the benefits of a prime and the benefits of a zoom all in one. And with this new range, you effectively get a 25.5mm to 60mm, giving you a much more viable option for general shooting that allows you to have like a decent tight as well as a good wide. Shooting down at Gemfest at the moment, testing out the new 17 to 40mm f1.8 from Sigma. It's been absolutely awesome so far. I've met some awesome creators, part of a big media team here today, and it's been absolutely cracking. The lens is actually been performing absolutely awesome, and I've of course been trying this out with the new X-E5 from Fujifilm, taking some photo, mostly video, and well, it's just a lot of fun, and it fits perfectly on the gimbal. At 6.2K is super crisp and absolutely lovely, but having the range, the low aperture, wow, it's just massively useful. Currently just that bingo lingo, grabbing a couple shots. And the other side to it is the bokeh is actually very creamy. This lens also has Sigma's very good HLA driven high performance AF motors inside, making the response really quite good even for a Fuji camera. I was actually really impressed with this. They've also got minimal focus breathing when you're actually trying to do focus pulls, which ends up just being an all-round great experience just out there in the field. While shooting with this lens, I did actually use the Fujifilm X-E5, which was the camera which just allows me to be able to do all of this. And it got some incredible fire shots at that 240 frames a second slow motion, and it's a really good mix of kit. really just, The entire mechanism for the lens is actually internal, making sure that it still remains that dust and splash resistance that I talked about earlier, but also when it comes to mounting on a gimbal, you don't see it struggling pretty much at all, to be honest with you, and the balance of the lens with, especially the X-E5 in particular, works out really nicely, and it's something to really be sung about right here. Overall, these functions and the build quality of the lens is impressive. Sigma lenses, this does actually have an aperture ring, making changing aperture really quite responsive and allowing you to both declick it and as well ply click, so you can have it which way you really prefer, as well as sticking it into full auto if you still like accessing that function inside of the camera. The lens does in fact have two AFL buttons which you can actually customize inside of the camera and change the functionality. Being an f1.8, you actually get really good low light performance, and this is something I noticed that was actually super useful during the day. If I needed to take photos when it was absolutely dark outside, it was actually quite possible, and I got some decent results depending on the sort of like noise performance of the camera. And this is where I feel like the Fujifilm cameras work quite well with it, because the noise is quite natural and it's quite filmic in general. We are now back in the office. Thank you, Gemfest, for allowing me to come down and grab some bits for Camera Centre as well, because it was actually a hell of a lot of fun and got to meet some super talented people, which I will put some clips in now. This lens, I think, is one of those lenses that is going to be super interesting to a lot of people. Of course, it gives you a lot of range, and because you've heard about all the specs already, I am massively impressed with this lens. For a while now, I've been thinking about getting a Fujifilm camera as my kind of like day-to-day, have fun and shoot it kind of camera. And I think, although I really like the lens, like the 23mm, and it would be something that I would genuinely shoot with every day, having something like this actually makes it a really viable option for professional work as well. Now, there are a few things that I did notice, and this may actually come down to a firmware thing more than something that has actually truly affected what the lens is. It does appear that the 7 stops of image stabilization doesn't actually apply to the lens. Doing further research into it whilst just completing this video, I found out that you actually have to manually input the focal length of the lens in the stabilization. It does actually work with third-party lenses. It's just an added little extra step that you have to do to make sure it's there. But it didn't affect what I got. I still got some incredible shots handheld and stuff I was really happy with. And if you're shooting Sony, the stabilization just works automatically without needing to change the focal length inside of the camera. Now on the gimbal, it was absolutely perfect. This weight distribution of the lens has a really good balance to it. So I didn't even have to actually set it to middle focal plane to actually be able to zoom in and out. It felt like it handled that side of things without causing too much kind of like shake with the gimbal as much as possible. Now to kind of like have a look more over the lens, you've got the A1 up the top here now, just having a look down over it. As you can see, you do actually have your aperture ring there, which I mentioned earlier, and then you've got your AFL button there, as well as custom buttons here and here. It's got a nice 90-degree throw, and as you can see, it is all internal. And it's just really pretty, really. And then you've got your manual focus, as well as your declick ring. And then I believe this is a lock. And then you've got your lock there as well for the aperture ring, so it doesn't move if you want to have it that way. I generally prefer actually using the aperture rings. I think it's just a really nice way of doing it. It's very reminiscent of using a film camera. But overall, it's a really nice size and really not too much in terms of weight as well. And that's the other thing I would like to mention here is actually how sharp the lens is. A number of photos I got over the project with Gemfest that I was absolutely just super happy with. It's overall just a really powerful lens for both photographers and filmmakers. And I know a lot of people are going to be very interested. And to kind of conclude that, to come to a final conclusion as to kind of what I think of this lens, I think if you are like me, looking at getting yourself a smaller APS-C camera for day-to-day shooting, and you still want to have a really nice low aperture zoom, then I mean this is the best on the market at the moment, because no other manufacturer does a 17-40 f1.8, and especially in this size. I mean, look at it. This is it compared to a DJI Mic 2 case. It's actually the same size, or near enough, and just being 500 odd grams. I mean, absolutely perfect. And if I'm honest, when I decide to actually take the plunge and get a Fujifilm camera for myself, I will probably get this. I was massively impressed with it. And I think, and if you are interested in purchasing it, make sure you go over to Camera Centre UK. We do some really great deals at some really great prices. And also, like I said earlier, you got Wales and West Photography Show that's happening actually this week. And, well, I'll hopefully see you there.